Mid-anime. No writing, just fighting in this anime. It's overglazed and has bad art style, no character development, bad power system, and it matters for me. Not even close to the best new gen being My Hero Academia, Boruto or Black Clover. Ending is awful and mid at the same time. I don't recommend it if you care about writing. 1 out of 10. If you ever wanted to read some bad takes, IMDb has some of the worst when it comes to anime most of the time. It's finally time to read the worst of the worst Jujutsu Kaisen reviews that I have found and selected. Take a seat, grab your popcorn or meds and let's get into them. I would rather end my life 10 times over than watch this piece of shit again. This is the worst piece of fiction I have ever watched. Gege Akutami is a worthless, spineless, dull human created by the Martians to possess our brains. He has somehow convinced all of you that Jujutsu Kaisen is the best series ever. No, it is not. I have broken free from that chain. Gege Akutami, I am coming for you. I honestly have nothing to say. My guy has some real personal beef with Gege. Great anime! One of my favorite anime is Jujutsu Kaisen. Its first season makes my interest more, and when season 2 comes I am very surprised. And now the season 3 is a masterpiece. The voice acting and the animation and everything is perfect. I love this anime, and when I get bored I rewatch the whole anime. 1 out of 10.
Huh?
So you loved everything and your rating is 1 out of 10? Okay? YDK Fig A 3 Bass 3A. Actually, I don't know what should I say. I'm just writing anything come to mind for complete the mean required number. As a fan of Black Clover, I like this episode so much, and honestly, Jujutsu Kaisen 4 is second best anime in new gen, by the way, spoiler. I can't wait until the fight of Takaba and Kinjako, and honestly, Hakari vs Kashimo. I think I summoned the demon with that title. Again, he loves anime, but still, 1 out of 10? Can't people make the difference between 1 and 10? Most overrated piece of fiction I've ever seen, the Taylor Swift of TV shows. A lot of my friends like this show, so I decided to give it a try. At first I thought it was comedic with this guy eating a finger. I've also seen the popularity it has on the internet, and let me just say, most overrated show. There were so many times where I was waiting for it to turn good, but it never happened. The writing isn't even that good. I can see that the writer wanted to have an impact on the audience by making most of the characters die, but you cannot do that when you don't even create connections with those characters, and the audience should not be compared to Attack on Titan. I didn't think I would see the day Jujutsu Kaisen would be associated with Taylor Swift. And how does a kid eating a finger of literally Satan set the premise as something comedic? Also, can we stop with the Attack on Titan comparisons? It's peak, but it has nothing to do with Jujutsu Kaisen. Why did I give this title such a rating? I'll start by saying there's a lot of annoying fanservice, both male and female, and it happens at inappropriate moments. From the start of the second season, the author just wanted to kill everyone. It was super stupid when your favorite characters just die. Also, the fanbase for this anime is very toxic. 1 out of 10. I have to say, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the biggest in the current day and might have the least fanservice out of all, right? All women are dressed from head to toe. I think the most fanservice moment was the Mei walk, right? And what's up with the people saying that characters are dying? Of course they are dying, it happens in real life too. Jujutsu Kaisen fans might be toxic, but are also the funniest I've seen in a long time due to the fact that we cannot read mostly. Bad. Sadly, there isn't a rating lower than 1 out of 10 on this website. Characters are bad, the story is bad and has bad pacing. The beginning doesn't do anything to explain or intrigue the audience. Frankly, if you haven't read about it before watching, you'd have no clue about what was going on. One of the worst anime I've ever watched. If you like Attack on Titan, avoid this one like the plague. 1 out of 10. So, what explaining? Kid eats demon, kid goes fighting against curses. That's the whole premise at the start. What more of an explanation do you need? This is worst anime I ever seen. Just one character are cool, Gojo. This anime are not good. These have just one best characters, his name Gojo, but he also beat. This not good anymore, so time waste anime. I have seen many anime like him, Attack on Titan, but this not good, so I think that this is worst. Anime. So I rate this anime 2 star and I don't like anymore. Just character cool, not story, copy Bleach, some just little different. And writer think he made his own story, he copied from Bleach anime. So I think my time are waste. What are others thinking about this anime? I don't know, but my opinion, these are worst anime. So thanks you. I think this is how people see us JJK fans, by telling us we don't know how to read. I don't even know if this comment was rage bait or not. He's calling Gojo the best and the next second he's calling him bad. And what does Bleach have to do with this? They are not even close. Anyways, I'm not gonna bother with it much. And now for the Demon Slayer section of reviews. Really? My respect for the world's population has deteriorated as a result of this show's high ranking. It was after all a Reddit argument which show is better, Demon Slayer vs Jujutsu Kaisen, that started me watching this show in the first place. I've completed the first season, it had great voice acting and phenomenal animation. It was also devoid of any character development of any kind. How a single review heralds the plot of this show is utterly beyond me. The world is fine, mind you, but the characters are garbage. There's no depth. I started binging this right off the bat in eager anticipation of depth that never arrived, so yeah, Reddit did me wrong, Demon Slayer is much better. 3 out of 10. Look, ignoring the blatant comparison between two great anime who have nothing in common, I think people are either ignoring the subtle moral battles that the characters have, or there is no media literacy anymore. Because you have literally Yuji fighting over his own morals, Megumi trying to learn self-acceptance, Gojo trying to pave a new way for his students in life, Geto debating the morals of the world, and so much more. But I guess the fighting scenes are so good that we skip over the internal monologues and the story. Nothing but a piece of trash. Jujutsu Kaisen has an enormous fanbase globally, but the people of Japan seems to be not an addict of this show, and I'll have to go with the Japanese on this one. Instead, you can watch 3 times better anime Demon Slayer. It has almost every good thing an anime should have, beautiful animation to meaningful story, which cannot be expected from Jujutsu Kaisen. Again, what does Demon Slayer have to do with Jujutsu Kaisen? We keep comparing Jujutsu Kaisen to every anime out there, I swear, people will compare it to Witch Hat soon or Fruits Basket. So bad that it makes you regret watching it, very boring, repetitive and aggressive. I recently finished the second season of this cartoon series and honestly it was a big letdown after the first season, who was promising, lighthearted and fun. But then the second season took a sharp turn into extreme aggression instead of exploring more of that enchanting world. Wait, hold up, what about Jujutsu Kaisen is enchanting? What about the world of Jujutsu Kaisen looks like a fairy tale? Yuji literally eats the finger of literal Satan in that world. And you're telling me Jujutsu Kaisen has any association to the word enchanting? The storyline became bogged down in intense cruelty and emotional exploitation for visual extravaganza, leaving little room for the warmth and connection that made the first season enjoyable. Wasn't a human Junpei transformed into a monster in the first season? And wasn't their school attacked? What about that was warm? Throughout the second season, each scene is steeped in an overwhelming feeling of anxiety, highlighting explicit representations of brutality that overshadow any earlier warmth. The depiction of grief and hopelessness is not just for dramatic effect, but also prepares the audience for the shocking losses of beloved characters. This intentional gap between initial charm and subsequent devastation signifies a breach of viewer trust, negatively influencing emotional involvement and numbing audiences to the seriousness of violence. So what, do we need an episode of Yuji educating the curses not to kill people? I honestly think this review was written by AI, otherwise I can't explain it. But let's read more, maybe he has a point about the enchanting world of Jujutsu Kaisen. The consequences of depicting unending tragedies and violent actions demand significant reflection on media regulation. The potential adverse effects on viewers call for urgent recommendations for intervention, be it through content advisories, regulatory oversight, or outright prohibition. A crucial dialogue must be established to address the obligations of creators in constructing narratives that inspire empathy instead of desensitization, thus placing audience mental well-being above sensationalism in storytelling. I did want to let him make a point, but you cannot tell me Jujutsu Kaisen needs trigger warnings or a fairy tale story because this is not how the world works. Just in the last 6 years we had the pandemic and so many wars. The world is not enchanting, and trust me, an anime is not gonna make the world more brutal. It just depicts the reality we live in. How can Jujutsu Kaisen set a violent depiction of reality when reality is in fact 10 times worse due to what's happening? Millions are dying every day, but we draw the line at Jujutsu Kaisen setting unreal standards? Joke of the century. It's honestly funny that this was called peak. Everything about it was disappointing, the animation and art design was terrible, the 24 minutes of each episode felt completely pointless and the characters had no real role. I don't even know how to fully describe how disappointing it was. There's no way it deserves being called peak, especially when Steel Ball Run exists. We have incredible animation, well-written characters like Joestar and Zeppeli, and the best fight scenes in the anime history are coming and the GOAT animators. Honestly, thank God I'm glad that mid Jujutsu Kaisen got this bad treatment. Poor JJK fans, hahaha. Stolen from Itadori Yuji, the kid that review bombed Steel Ball Run. 1 out of 10. Again, now we are comparing it to JoJo's and Yuji reviewed bombed Steel Ball Run.
Meanwhile,
Not so good. This anime not so good. Mob Psycho 100 is 100 times better than this. The atmosphere is better, the characters. All. The anime repeat the scenario, banishing curses. Add Mob Psycho to the comparison list. And now the cherry on top of the cake. Overrated AF. What I think is wrong with Jujutsu Kaisen? Poor explanation of the power system, like for example in Demon Slayer they use breathing and amplify it in different forms. In Naruto their chakra has natures and that's why they can use that specific nature. In Black Clover they have magic, but how do you explain how is Megumi able to summon animals? Did he one night decide, oh I should use my energy to summon animals, or is Nobara like, oh I see a hammer over there, I should use it? How does Yuji know his power is raw strength? How do they find out what they're compatible with? Well, if you watch the anime you would know, they explain it really well. Fake hype. I know it is good, but it ain't the best and people are comparing it to Full Metal Alchemist and the Big Three? No way, not even close. Sims. This anime is mostly discussed about Gojo and Sukuna more than anything. Fandom be like, there are no other characters in the show, bro. The Sims make it annoying as The other characters are nothing except for Megumi and Nanami sometimes, or else Toji. Absolutely nothing else to discuss, not even the story or plot. I think my brain is really fried after reading those reviews. If you want me to read any more comments from an anime, leave me your suggestions in the comments down below or tell me what review was your favorite. And don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss the next video. See you next time.